Hello, and welcome back to Factorio Space Age. We're picking back up on Vulcanus. We have finished making our cold liquefaction area and all of the related thingies from the petroleum processing, and I believe I extended that out to include low-density structures. I forgot to build the sulfur at the end of the episode, so did that here. And my goals for this are going to be to get the blue chips going out so we can make the rockets. And then also arrange for blue chips and red chips and green chips to be produced in bulk into the logistics area so we can then go to a proper production of modules. I want to get all that going here. We'll see how that works. So, blue chips. Let's start right off with this blueprint that we picked up earlier. In fact, I am going to go pick up the rest of them while we're at it. Old blueprints. Where'd they go? Circuits. So we have these three down here. We also have these three up here, which are all belt-based and plate-based, but these are the ones I want to use because they use the smelters to start off with the liquids. So we're going to make one of you. So you are going to be create a copy. I'm going to put you in there. I'm going to create a copy of you. Put you in there. And I'm going to put all of these in my Vulcanus blueprints. Oh, I already have one. Okay. I guess I was messing around a bit. I think I did more than I thought I did. And you can go away because we have one of you. Okay, so 800 blue chips per minute. Gonna go up here, and which end is the input? I think this end's the input. Yeah, because we've got plastic coming in the bottom, going into the red chip array, and we've got blue chips coming out. We've got sulfur, and yeah, okay, so that's all set up with the inputs hanging out there at the end. I'm going to hold down shift to put this in place. Let's leave room for, well, do we need to? I'm thinking about leaving room for logistics and roboports where I'm standing. Well, it can't hurt that much. I will need this for being able to do a build. So let's start with putting these in here and somewhere around here. And these two, I believe, are too far apart to talk to each other. Oh, how about that? They do. Okay, so these connect, and I believe they have the right thing there. Okay, so we're ready to go. I'm going to try on my robots so we can build things out of my inventory here. Now, inputs. I need plastic. Well, I did kind of a horrible job here at dealing with plastic. So I am going to admit that perhaps I have more plastic than is available. We're going to do this. I don't think plastic needs to go anywhere else. What this allows me to do is to not have a bottleneck. If I just split it here, that would say we're only getting one belt through it. I think we are getting two belts. There. So we're going to get this split off to the left. We're going to merge these together, so potentially we have two belts limited here, and one goes out to the right. There we go. And that should be good. Looks like this is coming together. Yay. Now the blue chips. We are going to need to put some in storage. We do want the belt to come out properly. So our belt looks like this. roughly. I'm going to hold down shift when I put it there so we don't go wild. I will do that so we're there. Now I could reorganize this a bit to make it easier. If I want to grab blue chips for stock, best bet is to do that right here. So fancy boxes, this is big stock, and we are capturing blue chips. Shift you to go into a red belt, put some power out here. You are moving until we have 4,000. That's perfect. I'll put both of those down. Change these guys to be proper. Your blue chips. Now I am thinking this is actually a good place to go to the west to feed into our launch pad. So maybe our launch pad goes over to the left there somewhere. There we go. And we'll just head those off to various thingies to feed into our launch pads, which we will do at some point once we actually get a whole bunch of stuff going here. So you go on top of you and go on top of you. So what are we not getting built here? We don't have beacons and we don't have modules. That's okay. This will work without the beacons and modules. It'll obviously slower, but it will work. But let's actually build the beacons over here somewhere. I'm not building them yet, so you come in here. I'm going to build that. There we go. Oh, come on. I forgot to confirm the quantity. And confirm. And I'm going to put those in and together. So this is going to be how many per minute? 5 per minute, so 10 per minute total. That will fill those in slowly over time, but it'll work. We'll get to the modules later. So plastics input, blue chips are output. This is all green chip stuff. Now this needs to be, yeah. This needs to connect to that guy. Okay, so now we have the molten copper coming in. This is all based on a blueprint where we had to turn on a green signal to allow it to run. And I am going to go ahead and just let that happen. The blueprint itself does not contain anything that turns on that signal. Which means I need to put one in. Come in right there. And we're going to start with this off, and you are producing the green signal. Not the check mark, not the thumbs up, just the green. Okay. Yeah, I've forgotten why I did that. And you come in like that. So now you guys have that. I think I have all the inputs. So we've got molten iron coming in, being made into iron plate, which we will use. We've got the molten copper coming in, being made into copper cable directly. I think it kind of goes back and forth, but at higher levels of productivity, if you make the copper, molten copper into copper plate, and then you make the copper plate into copper cable, you have the opportunity to have 2 more steps of productivity. Well, one more step of productivity there. Potentially meaning you use less molten copper. But I don't want to be redoing all of this just to get that one more thingy. So I remember I did a lot of effort to get the beacons balanced and everything here. Now, the iron all comes together down here. Now, these very fast rate of output once we get this beaconed up and everything. One inserter wasn't enough, so I get 2. These come together to form both sides of the belt. I split the belt. We've got some being picked off up there, some being picked off down there. I'm going to change all of these to green inserters. Wait, no, there was probably a reason I did that with the blues. Let's leave them blue until I actually observe it in use. So up here, notice the cables, we're offloading into a box and down here, but we're also sending some of them off to the left. And these guys are going to be both coming in on the bottom on one lane. Here we'll make it double laned, so we have a... Oh, no. We force it onto the outside lane, right. So this puts copper coils down the left-hand side of that belt. Now we get the green chips. The green chips are getting a ton of iron here, and they're getting all of their cable up there. Why do I have this? This guy only needs 4 per second. I don't know why. I remember I fiddled with this to get it working for quite a time. Oh, these don't have... Yeah, okay. Once I get the speed modules in, we'll see. So this creates the green chips, most of which go down to here, some of which then drop onto this belt. So this becomes a mixed belt of copper cable on the left and green chip on the right, which skips all the way down here to feed into the red chip machines. So the green chips go into blue, and the red chips go into blue, and the blue chips come out here. These are currently set to provide any quality of blue chip that we want to do. And I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that this is only base quality, because if we had it moduled for increased quality, it would potentially, we'd have to do something later on before we send it to the rockets, because the rockets can't handle increased quality inputs. So there's our blue chips. Bada boom, bada boom, all coming out. Now all you need to do is turn the green spot on. Oh, I remember what the green was. That was for the measuring world that I had in an editor, where this controlled whether I was measuring the outputs or not. What I wanted to do was shut it down when I wasn't measuring it, so that I could go to other builds in the same world and turn them on, and being able to monitor rates with this. So with blue chips turned on, we went from that level back there, practically none, to suddenly producing a whole ton of this stuff. So we're going to monitor blue chips, and red chips, and green chips. And of course it stops because they have nowhere to go. Why? Why did this stop? You are outputting, iron is full, copper cable is full, green chips are full. You are waiting on sulfuric acid. Oh, I didn't get sulfuric acid hooked up. Okay. Oh, we don't actually have sulfuric acid on this bus. Okay, so I need to add sulfuric acid. It looks like I need to add it to the right here. I think we've got space for it. I'm just going to run it up to here. I don't think I need to label this one. I do want to mark out where these guys would be if they came down here. Okay, come down this far, and this is where the sulfuric acid comes in. There we go. So now with sulfuric acid is flowing, the blue chips will start coming out. I can watch it on here. So we start producing green chips at some huge rate, and we start producing red chips, and we start producing blue chips. Nice. Now that won't be peak production yet, because we don't have all of our beacons and speed modules and all of that, but that's a good start. Next step is to put in, oh, you need to, I thought I removed you. Okay. Back to Vulcanus blueprints. Next step is the red chips. There's our input direction. I will be needing logistics coverage inside here. So that's the edge of the machinery. I think this gives me enough room for logistics coverage. But let's see. So I put you straight north of the other one, like that. Make this separation the same. Can't quite do that. I can, however, bring it straight north from you, which you don't have power. Get you power. I think you are actually on the main grid. You don't actually cover out through the end, so we're going to have one more bonus guy right here. There we go. Now this is capable of doing 1,500 red chips per minute. That's perfect. Bring it up until it doesn't conflict with anybody, and snap it down. Now you're going to need plastic, aren't you? Yes, you are. So I'll bring the plastic up here. You tell I didn't plan on having plastic here. This produces green chips on the outside layer. These guys head up this way, and I didn't mark all of my inserters. Okay, that's fine. So this has the copper coils, so this one doesn't. Oh, this is just copper coils. Okay. So let's get those marked. Not sure why these were the other way around. Maybe it was this guy that did it. Which means this is plastic. He's got his own supply of green chips. Yay. Now, I didn't bring the molten stuff out to the left because this is intended to stack this way. So it's intended to add more bays of red chips if you need them. We don't need to do that, which means what I want to do is bring the molten copper out, molten iron out this way. This is where we are doing our bridge, and you are there. Boom, boom. There's iron. I'm going to bring the copper through here. Means this needs to go from here to here. That. And there's copper. So iron and copper are feeding the green chip machines. There's plastic. Now for the red chips here, I don't think I want to put this on a belt. I think I want to just put these directly in boxes, which actually simplifies this a little bit. Let's put a deconstructor in for dealing with these guys. These now need to be connect to the logistics network. So we are going to run, but do we want to do that, or do we want to, let's do it based on wires. Okay, so I will put one of these in here. This is going to go until, well, not connected to logistics, but enable if the red chips in that box is less than 1,000. I think I need to that's going to be kind of a manual process. Oh, wait a minute, it's in groups of 3 here. So I could do the first 3 and then copy paste. Okay, so these should all now be putting 1,000 red chips in each one of these boxes. So whichever one the robots come and pick up from will get refilled. It's not going to be a case of all the close ones are going to be empty because the far ones have it. I have no need to, quote, balance, unquote, my draw from the boxes. So that brings my red chip production up, and blue chip production has gone away because his boxes are full, no doubt. Yes, nice and fast. Okay, next one is the green chips. I'm going to put these in again. And actually, I can move you I'm going to put these in a completely different place. I'm going to put them in at the midpoint between these two guys. I'm going to try. There we go. So that provides the coverage for all of these boxes like that. And now the green chips. This supposedly could run at 7,200 green chips per minute. Oh boy. Okay, so the inputs are on the left. Oh, okay, I see what happens here. Yeah. And again, I'm going to do this into boxes instead of into belts. So we may tighten this up a bit, among other things. So one thing I want to do is I want to move this feeder line up above. Oops. No, not you. Let's use Control C on this. Flip you vertically. Oh, before we do that, get rid of all of these belts, which we are not going to use. Okay. So I remember that once these get beaconed up and moduled up, they run very, very quickly. So we actually had to have 2 of these. I think it was 2 of these for, it might have been the second one to make the belt better packed. But let's just do it this way. And we are going to do that. And you are going to be enabled as long as the number of green chips is less than 4,000 in your output boxes. Now that's 4,000 total across the 2 boxes. So we have molten copper coming up there. And then we have molten iron. Let's take the molten copper line here. And I'm going to snug it up like that. Oh, I could bring it to there. Hold on, I can simplify this. Okay, so here's the copper line, which I'm going to end, because we're not going to extend this. If we do extend it, I can do the right thing. And we're going to bring this guy, flip you vertically. You're the molten iron. Trim you back to where you need to be delivering iron. Whoops, no. Iron there, iron there. This guy feeds 2 of them. Okay, there we go. Now the this whole thing is actually a lot tighter. So I can, oh, come on, get the right thing on the cursor here. I want to delete those. I'm going to grab this whole thing. Line it up with the other stuff. Now with that in place, I really want to have one of these out here. Midpoint there. I'm going to set these just on the same line. This is copper, so it goes to here. I'm going to be a little disappointed if it turns out that I'm not... Oh, that's copper. Oops. Yeah, let's let's not do that. And we need to dump the molten copper that ended up in the iron line there. Okay, there we go. There we go. So we are now producing large quantities of red and green and blue chips. And I can go to my Vulcanus trader and I can get rid of the imports of red, green, and blue chips. It won't hurt to drop them when I get there, though. Okay, so there's the chips. Now, with the modules that I currently have on hand, okay, since productivity modules aren't in yet, I'm going to be a little short here. But this means we are producing net 441. Well, let's do these one at a time since it doesn't forward. This guy produces 441 blue chips, and the others are all buried internally. This produces net 708 red chips. The rest of this is buried. And this will produce currently net 2,880 green chips. That's fantastic. Now, I want to start producing some modules. And this is all going to be bot fed. Why are these guys not running? Oh, you don't have copper cable. Okay, well, there's that. Let's just pick up all of this. I'm going to put this somewhere where I'm also going to make a bunch of copper cable. Copper cable that I can bring off of here. This is kind of temporary. It's just for me, so we're going to just do it here. Okay. Let's see. I want to bring this out. I want to separate it. No, let's put it like that. You are smelting. let's see, copper cable. Oh no, wait, we have a way of doing this that's better. Like this. Recipe is casting cable. Yeah, I know I should be doing normal cable from copper plate, but I just want to do this. And we're going to go until we have 2,000 in stock. And you, I don't need. We're going to do that. I'm going to grab you, and I'm going to put in 2 more you. And when we have them available, please put in productivity modules. Not that I'm worried about running out of molten copper anytime soon, even on this line. But it's good, you know, good practice. Power grid comb. Okay, so that's got a bunch of copper cable coming out. I think this guy can be retired now. We are using his bigger brother. Which means I no longer need the sulfur coming through here. Which means this guy does need power. Now, yeah, let's not use this. Let's use the other trick where this is going to be enabled when copper coils are less than 2,000 in my box. And get rid of that. And that means these guys also need to be disconnected. And there's no reason to use blues in there when I can use greens. There we go. Especially since the output there is 12 per second. There's no way a blue inserter is going to handle my output. Okay, so with that going, let's take a look at doing our modules over here somewhere. Wait, do modules first or do... So let's do the modules first. I'm going to put the modules in over here, I think. Now these guys, I believe, have recipes for modules. Yes, they do. There we go. So I'm going to look at what it takes to do, first of all, speed modules, 1 and 2. And with them unmoduled, basically this means I need 4 of these to 3 of those. And if I put in prod modules, okay, I don't have any productivity modules on me. Holy smoke. I can't estimate this without having prod modules. Let's see if I can set this up on Nauvis. I think I might have some prod modules on Nauvis that we can use. Nauvis is mainly idle. Perfect. We have a place where we are making modules somewhere. Yeah, we're still making modules the old-fashioned way. So we're going to come in. We're going to start doing something for a new build. Okay, so you guys... oh, you can't put productivity modules in these guys. Right. Okay. So what we need is for these guys. Doing 3 of these guys. That produces 18 per minute. Better still is if we... Oops. Can I speed module them? I don't think I really want to speed module these guys. I think I just want to have them work. So we'll do that. Wait a minute. Got an idea. No, these need to be... I need to have this be normal here. So I'm thinking is... I was thinking of sharing reds between these guys, but I don't think that's going to be important. So we'll just do that. Okay. And now we just have our inputs like this. I think we can just set this all up to be that simple. Power I'm going to stick in here and here. With a full stack of each one. No, how about 50 of each one? Same thing here. I'll do 100 on these guys. Okay, so there's a way of doing what I want to do. Move you up by 1, move you down by 1. Okay, so there's my way of doing these. Now, there is the ability to make tier 4 modules sometimes. I'm not going to do that. I'll put those in by hand later on, but having these balance out like this is good. I won't be actually using the tier 1 modules for anything. So let's make a blueprint of this. And our parameters, this is a Mark II module. Create blueprint, save it here for the moment. Now the Mark II module, the first two ingredients are the red and the blue. So we're going to come in here and we're going to say red is the parameter ingredient of 0. Blue is parameter ingredient of 0. And then this guy is parameter ingredient of 0 as well. And this guy I know is the first ingredient of this guy. Save. And what I forgot was to have my outputs going. And I am going to do the same thing I have been doing recently. You are going to have your filter, but we are going to produce until we have enough output in our output bin. I'm going to go until we have 400 modules in our output. There we go. Grab him. Select new contents, the whole thing. Oh, and yeah, I have to do this all over again. So you are the Mark II module. And it's red, green, him, and him. Okay. Ingredient of 0. Oops. Red, blue, ingredient of 0, ingredient of 0, and ingredient of 3. This is our output quantity, which I'm going to, I'm not going to even confirm this. All these quantities, I'm just going to leave them what they are. Save blueprint. And this is going to go in my Vulcanus blueprints for now. Come back here. And I'm going to start putting these down. How much space do I want to do for the landing area? How about all of this? So from where I am north. Okay. I'm going to put you down, making blue, and you down, making productivity modules. I'm going to grab all of this, and I'm going to center it up near the grid. And then I'm going to duplicate it. Flip horizontally so I can share boxes like that. Oh, that's actually pretty nice. If I move these guys over a little bit, I should be able to center this a little bigger, a little better in the cell. right. Okay, power grid comb. And you need to come up to here to get power. Okay, same thing again. Align you at the top. Put you there. So that's those two, and now we do efficiency modules and quality modules. And I have to wait for one more power pole. Okay, so now we are producing modules. It may take a moment for this to... So let's take this and say modules. It looks like everybody's kind of homing in on the right levels. The quality modules are lagging behind because they were the last ones to be put in. That's looking good. We now have modules going on Vulcanus. Which means I can go to the trader, and you are parked in orbit because I'm removing things from you. Don't need those anymore. Let's send down the last little dregs of the things we no longer need. And I'm going to send down the electric engine units. Boom, boom. What else do I want to grab while we have excess? Let's grab some of those. Looking good. Back to normal. So we now have our chip fabs done on Vulcanus. We now have our modules done on Vulcanus. And it's time to now work on our silos. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Nauvis. Oh, how do I take that entire chip fab, entire module fab here? I'm going to transplant that whole thing to Nauvis. You're just going to go right in like that. So there's my new module fab. And I can also pull the chip fabs in. They will require molten metal, however. So the question is, do I want to take my chip fabs from Vulcanus and retool them so they take plate on the input, or do I want to continue using the molten metal? I think I'm just going to transplant the entire thing. We're going to start from here and go all the way up. We'll have to arrange for plastic. I'll probably just move the plastic into requester chests. Back to Nauvis. I need a place to put this where I have molten metal coming in. Okay, we're going to belt plastic up to it. Flip this vertically. So we have molten copper over here. And molten iron up there. Could do it like this. Put it in here. That's not a bad place. We drop the whole thing in just like that. We're not removing anything yet. This will give us the ability to hook this up once it's built. Now, you need to route plastic up there. Oh boy, look at all those robots go. We're going to let that go. I will come back to Nauvis to fix him up, because what we want to do down here... Oh, I came to Nauvis for a reason. I wanted to grab at least the first chunks of this. 2, 3, 4. Let's grab 10 10 of these guys. Got to about there. Don't need you. So there's our build, complete with power and a green thing for N and all of that. And I'll have to worry about what this guy does. I may just bring this in whatever order I have it and then re-swizzle these guys as appropriate. In fact, that's probably the best plan. Great blueprint. I'm going to drop this in Fulgora again. Come back here and... There we go. I put it there. That reuses one of our roboports and centers us up. And I am going to go start decommissioning the old silos so they get... Oh, no. Don't decommission the old ones till the new ones are working. Okay, so the top lane... Oh, this needs to be hit with the current upgrade so I get all the belts the right color. There we go. So the top is going to be blue chips. Why are you all on one side? Oh, that's right. We only get one lane of blue chips. That's fine. So, blue chips are on you. And then LDS. And then these guys. Okay. And down the bottom, blue chips are on the left, and LDS is in the middle. We're like that. That's ready to go, and all I need to do now is pick up the old rockets and put them down in the new place. So I am just going to waste current progress on those guys and current progress on those guys. And that should fill in 9 of the 10. Did I just see power? Why have my steam turbines stopped making power? That's bad. Okay. If you don't have calcite, you don't get to do anything. There we go. What's going on here? Oh, sulfuric acid's not flowing? What's happened to my sulfuric acid? Oh, you don't have power to pump the acid, so you don't have the acid to do this because I did not put in... Yeah, very important to have containers for your steam. I think we just need to wait for this to start recovering. Okay, we got a little bit of steam going in. Okay, we need to put in more power, or solar power. Because I neglected to do the right thing earlier. At some point, we're going to need to build a nuclear, not a nuclear plant, a power plant where we use solar power to power the pumps getting the sulfuric acid and all the machines, so that we have power independent of anything else. Okay, so now we're getting a little bit more. I think we're just gonna have to wait this one out. It seems to be coughing its way to life again. Hey trader, are you carrying solar panels? You are not carrying enough solar panels for what I want to do right now. Kind of an emergency. You're going to head back to Nauvis and get me my solar panels. And I'm going to increase your throttle. We're not making a whole lot of accumulators on Nauvis. Yeah, this is not good. The fact that I don't have enough power to run the pumps to get the acid to feed my power plant is kind of a bummer. We are running these guys, though, so I could build an auxiliary power plant over there if I had the turbines, which I don't. I think, like I said, I think I just need to wait this out. So yeah, I should have been monitoring production here. And I wasn't. So here we brought a whole bunch of electromagnetic plants online all at once and beaconed. Okay, when we put those modules in, that was crazy. And then we started modulating up, and that was even crazier. And that's what crashed our power lines. Okay, so we're now producing again. We're not satisfying, but we are producing. Have to keep going here. We've got the sulfur here. Is now the time to do this? Now may be the time to do this. This away. So the idea is we need a sulfur area here, which is fed from a solar panel, which is distinct from everybody else. We'll get those built first. I will separate using the clippers. Old magic. I'm going to move the magic down to the bottom here so I can find it easier in the future. Okay, there's that. You guys, but only this much. Go in there. Okay, so if I were going to do a single bit of power for him, I think I'm going to put it here. I need to prioritize this one. So we're going to carve off all of that. Okay, so you are providing power only for the pump jacks right now. You also need to provide some power for calcite. I am going to carve off A good chunk of the calcite, actually. We're going to carve it off like that. Okay, now get some calcite from down here and acid. And that gets me. I'm going to build one of these. Not too big, but big enough. Oh wait, this is going to be my major power supply, isn't it? Let's see. Grab all of you. You're going to be getting the calcite from the south. And we are not making water out of this one. Actually, I am going to grab all of this. Like that. Calcite's coming in on a blue belt. How much calcite are we using here? Transport belts, blue, we are doing 1/10 of a belt of calcite. That's fine. I am going to toss all of you guys in there. Oh, you, by the way, I need to have you guys bringing me more than their turbines. Let's bring 200 in the next load. Okay, so you aren't going anywhere because you aren't powered yet. Move you one to the left. So we can bring the power down like that. And the turbines are basically going to grow south from that wire. That line there. Now the turbine outputs do not connect back to this guy. Actually, since they're not connecting back to that guy, I'm going to separate them a little further. Let's see. So this should still be just this stuff we're doing now. Okay. Bring these guys in here. This will connect up with main power. How many is that? That's 108. Okay. Oh, and also, while I am looking at you, you are bringing 50 of those. Let's make that 150 of those. I'm using more of those than I thought I would. Okay. Let's set up to do a whole ton of this stuff. Did I mention I was going to do a large power plant? Start with you and snap to grid. There. What else did I have robots there? So over time that will get filled in, and that will be my safe power plant. Put these here for the moment. Try to attract the robots. So I'm thinking, really waiting on that trader, aren't we? What are you waiting on? You're waiting on turbines. Am I not making turbines? I need to be making turbines on Nauvis. I really do. I have one machine making turbines. There we go. How are you doing on turbines now? Oh, these are 10 per rocket? Okay, this is going to be an expensive way to build a power plant, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to lower my requirement after I get these 200 loaded up. You know, the turbines that I have down here aren't really doing any good. I'm going to turn off trash unrequested. I'm just going to pick these up manually and place them down where I want them to be placed. Robots off. These aren't doing any good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the upper left-hand corner here. When I turn on my robots, they should do some of them. Okay, And I can inch my way to the right and down. That's got a bunch of them ready to go now. I can... Yeah, these guys... Oh, right. This is not going to work. Yeah, let's pull up all of this. Because we don't have power poles or enough of it. Okay, so you are going. Oh, I didn't give you any calcite. That's going to be a trick. Okay, so you do have power. Let's start off with you guys. Okay, and the difference here is going to be, I want you to not have these guys. I want to have efficiency modules. Like that. Best way to do that is going to be with these guys. So you are... Oh, wait a minute. I have one of these. Efficiency and efficiency. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Okay, that's correct. Okay. So we've got some calcite coming in. We are not hooked up to the sulfuric acid yet. Oh, because I didn't do it yet. Okay, so all of you guys need to come out to the left-ish. I'm just going to hook you up normally. Not going to do anything special here. Yeah, let's do it like that. Okay. Sulfuric acid coming in. That looks good. Why are these got marked this way? Low power. Okay, so we need more power to be able to run these guys normally. Oh, right. I forgot to translate these over to my better power. That's better now. These guys are all running on the solar power area. And now we can start putting in more steam. See if I can get him to put it in from the top. Okay, now we're waiting on more turbines. That's perfect. So we are now producing a bit more energy here. We're up to 500 megawatts. We need 3.4 gigawatts. Oh. Well, we just didn't have enough power to begin with at all, did we? So if that's the case, really our problem isn't that we didn't have power. Our problem was that I didn't module things properly to make use of the power that we have properly. Okay, these guys are put in place. All these guys need to have efficiency modules in them. You? That should help some. And we still have the problem that all of these are prod moduled. I think I am going to have to give up on prod modulating for these guys. We'll just have to take the hit. I am going to put in, this is going to be my make everybody efficiency thing, I guess. And also these guys. And your icon is going to be an efficiency module icon. There we go, confirm. What has that done to my power requirement? That's better. Let's extend this to also do oil refineries. And chemical plants. Let's some point I will have enough excess energy to handle this. When I looked at the absolute number there, that's just crazy. We are going to efficiency module everything here. Everybody gets efficiency modules. And I am going to watch my power go down. This is slowly growing. I don't know why that's slow. Oh, right. It's slowly growing as we get wider here. So for the last minute, that's that 1.2 gigawatts number is going down. That's great. So I added a whole bunch of stuff there without thinking. So I just heard the hum of the turbines descend in tone, which means that we are no longer running the turbines at 100%. So we now have 300 steam turbines in place, capable of 1.7 gigawatts. So we can't take out our efficiency stuff yet. I need to get to, 4 or 5 gigawatts first. But that's a lot. Wow. Yeah, I wasted a lot of power there. My trader, let's reduce you back to bringing me, say, 50 at a time. But I do need to have you keep bringing me turbines. Why are you waiting on pipes? We don't need to have pipes brought to us. Little by little, I'm getting rid of stuff that I'm importing and focusing on importing the stuff that I absolutely need. Okay, so over the last hour, we built this guy up to where it was producing here, and then our consumption slacked off because we got efficiency modules and things. And we're back to filling up the accumulators. Yay! Have we returned Vulcanus to stable? Yes. Am I happy with it? Not so much. We have a significant amount of steam being kept in those turbines. I could, in fact, do that. The more steam you have, the longer you last when things go wrong. And that may or may not be a good thing. So we would start to lose steam if this wasn't enough power for us. I am going to insulate myself a little bit from that. I am going to put down another power plant there. And I'm going to pick up all of this stuff, which I didn't plan on having initially. And we're going to put the grid back in over there. Not the open grid. We're talking the... Oh, that's in this one. There we go. So with this power plant set up, as long as we have enough solar here to run the plant itself, we don't need solar over here. Yay, I can decommission this solar and put something else in. I can get rid of all of this crap. Except I think this is my water source. Yeah, this is my water source for this guy. Oh, we no longer need him. So let's see. Lubricant. Are we bringing lubricant over from the other side of the world? We are not bringing lubricant over from the other side of the world. So I still need to have that plant there to provide the lubricant. Which is being used for what? It is being used for these guys. Okay, fair enough. Plastics. We do not need the plastics in here. We do not need the rocket fuel. Continue pruning back the stuff that we don't need. Lubricant is just from heavy oil. Am I using this petroleum for anything? Yes, I am. Oh, I've lost power here. Pots off, power on. Where did I cut it? Probably cut it in a number of places. Where's the best place to reconnect it? In here somewhere. Come on, guys. Okay, power's back there. These guys can go away. I'm going to turn off my robots so we don't keep putting stuff in my inventory. Keep losing my cursor amongst all the robots. What are we using the petroleum for? Petroleum is being used for sulfur. We have another source of sulfur. Do not need... Oops. Do not need this petroleum over here. Prune, prune, prune. But we don't need this. We don't need this. We're not doing anything with the light oil either. So basically, these guys are making heavy oil, which we are making into light oil, or which we are making into lubricant. So take a look at our stock area. We've pulled up a bunch of stuff. Stock is looking not too bad. But I'm going to add some more out here. Okay, launch area. These guys are ready to launch. And I do not need the extra logistic network over here on these roboports. I am going to instead put a couple more accumulators in each one. There we go. Belt and suspenders. Okay, so what have we done so far? We've put down our chip fab here, which we've copied over to Nauvis. We've put down our module fab, which we copied to Nauvis. We moved our rockets and made them use belt feed instead of request feed. I do need to do something to use up all of the rocket materials that are in the logistics network at some point. It doesn't look like these guys are at their limit by any means. Yay. We got our new power plant. These LDSs we don't need anymore. I don't know whether I need him or not. I'll leave him powered. Whoops. I chopped off too much stuff when I chopped the LDSs. Just a little more carefully. Okay, you guys go away. Steel plates. I haven't done the real fundamentals over on the west side. The real fundamentals are getting plates in. Although it's tempting just to say we're not going to do plates except exactly where they're needed. So the builds we're doing in the northwest corner are kind of independent of that. So, oh, didn't this need steam? No, this did not need steam. That's right, this just uses the calcite coal and sulfuric acid, right? So this is just for water. Hold on. Water for what? Well, we don't need this water. Because we don't need to crack anything to get lubricant, which means this water goes away. It means all of this goes away. I do love doing this. I do love picking up sections of my base that are no longer needed. So we still need the lubricant to make these. So if I start making these over on the west side of the base, we no longer will need to have this going here. So I just need to transplant things from the old base area to the northwest base area. We certainly have quite a bit of room. I can get more. Is this? Oh, trivial amount of tungsten. Okay, we're not going to worry about that. I'm going to need to expand at some point up there. We also have all this stuff. I went down south thinking I would need this. And we do have our major source of tungsten down here. We have a bunch of stuff we could do down here. This guy is at 5.2K%. I'll add a tag to him, even though he's a very small one, just because he looks big. And this guy, I think I can decommission you. Yes, I can. Because you are just a pain in the butt. And all the tungsten you have picked up is going to be brought back and put in these guys somewhere. Okay, we do have refined concrete here. I keep looking at this guy thinking, did I need it? I guess I don't really need it anymore. Send you down. I don't need you anymore. I don't need to be importing steel anymore. Anything else I'm carrying that I don't need to be importing? I think I'm okay with that. What are you waiting for? You are waiting for electromagnetic plants. Fulgora, you're supposed to be bringing me electromagnetic plants. Okay. This is stopped because we have, quote, enough of everything, unquote. Looking at my outbound belts, they're all nice and full. This is the way I like to see things. I don't like to see things not moving at all, but we're not exporting any science right now. Electromagnetic plants. You are waiting on refined concrete. Okay. So it's Nauvis that needs refined concrete. Let's see. Are we making it here? Yes, we are. Supposedly, we're making refined concrete. We're waiting on iron sticks. Iron sticks are waiting on iron. Oh, look at what happened to the iron plate. That's, I think, what I originally had. There we go. I think I was doing something fancy with controlling what was where. Okay, so we're now beginning to pick up things that need to be tossed in the burners. That's okay. That's as expected. As we crank up needing something, we're going to get everything else, and everything else is going to need to be refined away to nothing. Notice how almost everything here is at 39 and 40 stacks. It's been a while since we've been on Fulgora, hasn't it? At some point, we need to come back here and find larger islands, like these guys, and bring in multiple railways and crank him up a little bit further, I think. Maybe? Think about it, but I need to explore more. But that means that this trader should now be getting all of his goodies. How slow is that made? Is there something else keeping us from making these? I think we're just waiting on goodies. Okay, I'm going to duplicate you real quick. Quantities look good. Okay, if we are basically waiting on getting holmium plate in, that's okay with me. Oh, these guys down here are supposed to replace this guy up here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, so now these are the guys, the guys that are making them. Who is putting holmium plate in logistics network? That would be these guys here. So we get split this half and half, so we get some out here, and if it backs up, we get these guys in here. Okay, that's fair enough. This means that all of our homing plate right now is being made into these guys. Okay, good enough. Fulgora Trader just made a round trip, didn't he? Yeah, he's back at 0. And we are... So everything is basically back to working again. And our new part of our base is being used to launch rockets and to make modules and to make green chips and to make red chips. We need a lot more power before we can module everything up better. I think we're just going to continue expanding to the east here. See, cut it here and then come back to where we have that. Further expansion to the east will require taking over territory to the east. And we actually don't have all the stuff we need yet. Okay, I'm going to call that a recording. It's been about 2 hours, and things are beginning to happen in the household here. So I'm going to call this a recording and put it up in the next day or two when I get a chance to do some editing. Well, some setting of chapter markers and such. And I will see you in the next recording.